What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and welcome back to my continuing coverage of the North Texas Film Festival. The second film that I saw at the film festival is The Lodge. Now, this one comes from Neon. It is directed by Severin Fiala and Veronica Franz. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And this one tells the story of a family, a husband and a wife and their kids. They're going throughout their lives and everything, and then something happens to the mother, and I won't say what. And so a stepmom enters the picture, and the husband feels like the kids need to get to know her a little bit better, so they kind of go to this lodge in the middle of winter. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so definitely a lot of time to bond and really kind of get to know the kids and kind of get to know her a little bit, because we don't even know as an audience member what the stepmom is like. So it's great for everyone. And then stuff starts to happen. Isolation starts to really kind of play a part. And so Riley Keough plays the stepmother. She starts to go a little crazy, kind of tortures the kids. If you want to see this, I'll just stop right there, and that way I don't get too far into the story. So, going into this, I heard pretty good things about it. It's been playing at a couple of film festivals, Fantastic Fest here in Texas as well, in Austin. I think Sundance. I don't know, to be honest with you. I just, a couple people here and there just been like, it's pretty good. The trailer was actually really good, and I was like, cool. I love horror films. I love one-setting horror films. Really get the characters, crammed into one situation or location, and just seeing what they do and see how they react. Is it going to get to them? Is the paranoia going to get to them? Being alone and isolated. So the possibilities are endless. And so I watched the movie. It's fine. I don't know what I expected, but this was just kind of like, okay. I felt like I was, filling up a balloon, puffing, waiting for some type of climax, and then it escapes my mouth and just kind of withers away, lands in a tree. That's exactly how I would compare this movie. So, I will give credit where credit is due in several compartments on this movie, but there's definitely some kind of whatever things. But what I like about the direction of this film is that there is atmosphere to it. There's this kind of bitter anxiety that you would want from an isolated type of movie. You want that paranoia. You want people to start going crazy. You want to have these fever dreams of people, really feeling the pressure of the isolation on top of them. So that is all there. It's wonderfully lit. It utilizes the blues and the kind of like cold temperatures of the outside, and like you feel that as you're watching it. Like you feel the cold kind of subconsciously, so it kind of just adds to the experience. It's really well shot, utilizing the wonderful snow and the lodge setting. It's creepy. It provides that kind of eerie atmosphere that you need. And the cinematography is actually shot like a dollhouse, which is fascinating given some of the themes in this movie. Maybe, I guess without spoiling it, maybe the cinematography is kind of equivalent to, if I say dollhouse, maybe, you think of someone operating little dolls inside of a dollhouse, so it's almost like they're being controlled. There you go. But very interesting cinematography for sure, and it's got a nice little score to it in sound design to once again just kind of amplify this creepy atmosphere. Riley Keough is solid. Not really much given to her, but she makes it work, I guess. That's as far as I'll get with the positives. So that's what I'm saying. Like this review is gonna be kind of like a balancing thing, where it's like, oh, these things are pretty good, and these things were like whatever, to just kind of mediocre, to where I think you guys already know where I'm going with the grade. The thing that kind of disappointed me about this entire experience is that at the beginning of the movie, we actually see what the mystery is already. It is actually revealed, the stepmom's history and her past. And when that is revealed, there's kind of nowhere to go. There's no tension buildup. There's no suspense that you want to kind of like trickle along the story with. It's all explained in the very beginning to where when we get to the lodge, I'm like, I can kind of see where this is going to end. And so it kind of just ends on this anticlimactic note, and you're like, you just walk away going, okay. And so I think they kind of ruined their opportunity with that, kind of spoiling these plot points in the beginning of the film, and it just sucks out all the tension out of the room and really doesn't have anywhere to go. It doesn't have anywhere to explore. And on top of that, if you're going to show us what the backstory of the stepmom is and like maybe a hint of where the story is going to go, explore it a little bit. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do anything with it. It just gives us this and goes, that's it. And just lets the movie kind of flatline and coast to the end credits. And I'm like, well, what was the point in that? And then we get into the whole thing of, it just gets repetitive. We have sequences where, let's just say something's happening to Riley's character. She's going a little crazy. She's going after the kids. She, kind of goes into this zombified mode and goes, towards them because she thinks she's seeing something else. And like, the kids snap her out of it. And we get maybe a couple scenes of them going, well, what was that about? I don't know. And then night comes and then it just happens again. And it just keeps going over and over and over again. And so it makes the movie move at this kind of like glacial pace. And you're like, can we please speed this up a bit? I mean, the movie's only like an hour and a half, hour, 40 minutes. It feels way longer than it should. Because once again, you already know the mystery, so there's no intrigue there. And you're starting to get very repetitive, so it's getting a little boring, and you're losing interest. Even with Riley's kind of solid-ish performance, it's not enough to carry this movie. So it's like the atmosphere is there, and like they created like the world appropriately, but the story just kind of flatlines. And I'm like, okay. So I mentioned the acting, Riley Keough. She's solid for what she's given. Once again, kind of operating back and forth between like the zombified state that she goes in and then like her concerned motherly aspect. She's solid. The kids are fine. Jaden Martell from the It movies and everything. I mean, he's the best out of the two, I guess, but the kids are fine. The dad's played by Richard Armitage. I like him usually. Barely even in it, so can't really judge him on that. The mother at the very beginning, you'll know who she is when you see her. She was probably better than most of the adults, and she's not even in it more than 5 or 10 minutes. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like, if you want to watch something like on Netflix streaming or something to rent at home if you're bored, this movie's perfect for that. I wouldn't even recommend seeing this in theaters. It's not worth the experience when it's just, it sets itself up to be something pretty interesting and then just kind of falls flat and just becomes a dud, unfortunately. So I'm going to give The Lodge a C. Take that for what you will. But yeah, it comes out next February in 2020, so people will probably forget this review by then, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go check out The Lodge. So that is the second film of the North Texas Film Festival, and so tune in next time for some more festival coverage of the first ever North Texas Film Festival. I am Chase Lee, and tune in for that stuff next time. See you guys later.